Wait a minute. Wait a minute.
What is up? What is up? What is up, ladies and gentlemen? It is your man, Jelani JB Bodie, once again back in the building, here to talk about sports. This is the Wait a Minute show, right? Sports show where we talk about sports and a few other things as well. And we're not going to hold up anything. We're just going to get this thing rolling into it. So the first thing is that you want to make sure you like, subscribe, turn on those notifications if you haven't already. Make sure that you are tuned in and sharing this as well to all family members, friends that's out there, right? So if you like what you're hearing, like what you're seeing, follow your boy, right? We're on here every single week. So we got a lot of stuff that we're going to be talking about today, or I got a lot of stuff I'm going to be talking about today. Get into some week 9 NFL action, a little bit of NBA, college football as well. And I told you before it was coming, so it's here. It's already going. It's already in progress. Ladies and gentlemen, the Wait a Minute show toy drive is in full effect. So before we get into our first topic, check this out. What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Once again, it is that time, the holiday season. So it is time for year 12 of the Wait a Minute show toy drive, and I need your help this holiday season. So going on from November 1st to December 14th, the Wait a Minute Show Toy Drive is where we sponsor kids from Helping Hands of Paulding County, a nonprofit organization, and kids 1 through 18. We sponsor those kids and get them what they want for the holiday season. And how we do that, I do it with your help. So I need your help once again. I go out there through your donations and I get what it is that they want. So it's real simple and real easy to do. All you have to do is go to thewaitaminuteshow.com. Again, that's thewaitaminuteshow.com and choose your option of PayPal, Cash App, or GoFundMe. And it does not matter. $1, $2, $5, it all adds up. We were able to help 22 kids last year. We're trying to help more this year. And we only can do that with your help. So again, go to thewaitaminuteshow.com and choose your option, PayPal, Cash App, or GoFundMe, and make it a memorable 12th year holiday season for a kid out there. I need your help, everyone. So there you have it. That is the Wait a Minute Show Toy Drive. Again, I need your help out there, man. Just go to the website. Help your boy out. Help some kids this holiday season. So let's go ahead and get into our first topic, which is NFL, right? Week 9 and some things, I always talk about things in the NFL that just stuck out to me. So there's a few things. There's 4 things that I want to touch base on today. And the first one is going to start with the Dallas Cowboys. So right here in the ATL where we film, they were here yesterday taking on the Atlanta Falcons. Didn't go their way. The Dallas Cowboys now are 3-5. So is the Dallas Cowboys season over with? Is it a foregone conclusion that the playoffs are not in sight for this team? So Jerry Jones is still keeping the faith, as he should. And the rest of the Cowboys, as they should, are still keeping the faith. Fans, maybe a little bit different depending on who you're talking to. But you're talking to your man, Jelani JB Bodie, and I'm going to tell you, it's over. It's over. It's over. And I don't say that, just willy-nilly and everything. I'm looking at their schedule. I'm checking this thing out right now. And on their schedule, actually on my paper, I have them. They're 3-5, and here are the next 3 teams that they're going to play. They're going to play Philly, Houston, and Washington. Now, they got a game, also the 4th game against the Giants, and then Cincinnati after that. But I could realistically see the Dallas Cowboys losing 2 of these 3 games, if not all 3 of these games. And it was just reported that Dak Prescott, his hamstring injury, is feared to be worse than what it is. They are already talking about that he is going to miss multiple weeks. Obviously, we're going to wait a little bit longer because between now, it's Monday. So between now and next week, anything could change. It could be he end up playing, or maybe it's just 1 week, that he missed. But if in fact it is that he missed multiple weeks, it's a wrap. Go ahead, put it up, put it in the present, put it under the tree, because Dallas Cowboys is not going to be making the playoffs. And it was going to be hard for them anyway. I mean, going against Philly next week, I did not have them winning that. Going against Houston, possibly that could happen. We saw the Jets win, but the Jets, I'm going to say the Jets defense is better than Dallas defense, even with Michael Parsons back in the mix if he is. I still think Houston could win that because what do two of those teams have? Even the third one, even Washington, but two of those teams, they like to run the ball, and Saquon Barkley and Joe Mixon, which is a bugaboo for the Dallas Cowboys. So that's why I'm saying that I could easily see them 3-8 or 4-7, at that point. So I hate to say it, but it is what it is going into this final half of the season. Another news that came out, Dennis Allen, right? Dennis Allen has been shown the door. The New Orleans Saints has decided that they're going to move on from Dennis Allen, move an interim coach in and finish this season out. And I can understand why. I do think that probably to a certain degree, Dennis Allen probably has lost the locker room as far as like the vote of confidence, I should say. I don't think anyone have any bad words or ill will towards Dennis Allen. It was just really, is he getting the job done? And you start out on such a hot note, beating the Dallas Cowboys in one of your first two wins in a convincing fashion, which it seems like maybe that, that was a little bit of a smoke and mirrors win to a certain degree. To a certain degree, a win is a win. But then they go on to lose 7 games in a row. And this last one, it was just the straw that broke the camel's back. I guess you can't lose to the Carolina Panthers, right? At this point where they're at, and they lost that game. And so the organization was like, look, that's enough. We're going to move on. It's time to do something different. And it probably already was time to do something different with the New Orleans Saints at this point. You got some decisions that you need to make. And I think sitting at 2-7, they realized this season isn't going to get any better. We're not going to turn anything around. We're not going to do anything that's going to be in dramatic fashion that gets us to where we want to be this season. So let's go ahead, start making moves. It doesn't stop there. Obviously, coaching staff is probably going to look a little bit different or a lot different. But then also you start getting into moves that you may want to make on your roster at this point, because the trade deadline is tomorrow at 4 p.m., if I remember, Eastern Standard Time. So you got some moves that you could make at the trade deadline to get ready for next season. Then also just thinking about what you got on your roster. Will that be there? You got a question mark, I think, at this point about Derek Carr. What do they want to do, or what's the game plan for Derek Carr? Because whatever coach that they have coming in, is that going to be somebody that Derek Carr is in a line with, or that they're going to move into that organization with Derek Carr as their quarterback? I think that is a valid question. Not that they got a problem with Derek Carr, but when you make these moves like this, you have to ask the question. Look, they signed Alvin Kamara, so I don't think he's going anywhere because he just got an extension. Chris Olave, unfortunately, he getting injured yesterday, but he's not going anywhere. And then you got some other guys that's older on this roster. So they're going to be looking at, more than just with Dennis Allen. But at this point, Dennis Allen has 2 stints as a head coach. That probably will be the last run. He'll get back to, being a DC, defensive coordinator somewhere, and he'll make his impact. But as far as like with the New Orleans Saints, that has come to an end. Somebody I like talking about, I don't talk about too much on here, but the Lions, right? My Detroit Lions going 7-1, taking on the Green Bay Packers. Let me just say this with the Detroit Lions. People talked about the weather and what they were going to do. How are they going to get through it? Looked like they, was okay in that. So Detroit, here's the thing: going on the road, going in the elements, still putting up points, still playing well against a really good Green Bay Packers team. Jordan Love throwing the pick 6. I want to touch on the Packers for a second, and I'll come back to the Lions. But the Packers only will go as far as Jordan Love take them. We already know that. Jordan Love even talked about this himself, taking care of the ball and being careful with it. And I think that has been Green Bay's most epic bugaboo at this point, right? It's some of the decision making that Jordan Love makes. This guy is super uber talented. I told everybody, just give him time. He's coming. He's going to be a problem. And you see the glimpse of that. You see the signs of it. You see that he has that possible it thing. But what he has to get rid of is the it. I IT and some other words in there, throwing these bad interceptions, right? Getting through that. So I think Green Bay is okay when he can get rid of that and eliminate that from his game. They're gonna even take another step. So going back to my Lions and everything, is that look, they have put themselves in a driving position as the best team in the NFC, right? That's cool. That's great. Now, what the Detroit Lions really need to be focused on now, there's reports that Zadarius Smith, and I'm looking, at my notifications just to see if I get something while I'm talking. But the report is that Zadarius Smith is going to come to this team. Do not think that Zadarius Smith is going to give you the same numbers as Aiden Hutchinson, but you do get a guy if they do make this move, and someone that can rush the quarterback, can pressure, can be another piece that can help with this. They've won 2 games without JMO, so that gives them credit in this league that they are winning without guys. Deion Branch got kicked out of that game early for a targeting penalty. So Detroit is in a good spot. Where they need to be, though, and I think this is the mindset of the team, is that 2 things. The only thing that you want to be the best at is, yes, you want to have the number 1 spot in the NFC, and that's only solely to have home field advantage so that the road to the Super Bowl goes through Detroit. That's it. There's nothing else. We don't want no number. We don't want. Who cares about that? Other teams will win 15-1 or undefeated in the regular season. Didn't end up as Super Bowl champions. And then that's the other thing. At the end of the day, no matter what that record is, you want to be the best team and the last team standing, on this team. And they got a really good shot in that with that running game, with how Jared Goff is playing, with guys that step up all over the board on the offensive side. And then on the defensive side, they're still getting pressure. They're still slowing people down. Again, with Zadarius Smith, I think that will add, another element to this Detroit team. And then you're going to start having some of those guys. We had rookies that matured a little bit last year. You're going to expect that again from their rookies this year, but they're second-year players going into, let's just be honest, that going into the playoffs, because you got to be thinking, that they're going to be even more prepared for the playoffs this year than what they were last year. Last up, I'm going to tell you this right now. I'm looking right now. It is a Monday. It is early Monday. I'm going to tell you this right now. Play of the year. Play of the year. There should only be, this is how I want play of the year to go, is that there are no nominees. None. Zero. Zilch. Zero. There are no nominees. There is only one person that's going to be in this category, and that's going to be Saquon Barkly. Because what he did yesterday, I don't care if you caught a one-handed pass. This brother juked a man, spent around another man, saw another person coming, turned around. I don't even know what that move is. Hurdled backwards, landed, turned around, and then landed for the first down. There is nobody else. So when it comes to play of the year, all I want to hear is that, ladies and gentlemen, the nominees for play of the year: Saquon Barkly, Philadelphia Eagles, and his dramatic reverse hurdle. And then they come back to the presenter and they say, and the winner is Saquon Barkly. That is all I want to hear. If I hear anybody else in this category, they're going to get a big L. Nobody is beating that. Nobody. Mark my words, from here today for 2024, the play of the year has already been decided. Don't submit anything else. Whatever you do, you can do. And unless you are like a flying squirrel and you float from the 10-yard line into the end zone, dodging, other people, that's the only way you're going to get play of the year. Saquon Barkly is the sole play of the year candidate, nominee, and he will be the winner. That's all I'm going to say about that. That felt good. Woo. So let's move on. Let's talk about Penn State, right? Penn State. Penn State is still Penn State. They find a way to lose a game to Ohio State. They had that game. They had the opportunity. Let me just say that. And everybody's going to say the same thing. That execution at the end, at that goal line that they ran, that made no sense, whatsoever. To run the offensive lineman in motion 3 different times, and it's just like, play big boy ball. You're on the one. If you play big boy ball 3 times in a row and you don't get it, fine. But running an offensive lineman or a D line, whoever that was, number 71, running it in motion, that didn't add any effect. I think more than anything, it got in the way. And this is the same thing that continued on when it comes to Penn State, is that James Franklin is now, I think, 1-10 against Ohio State, or I don't think he's ever beaten Ohio State, but I think he's 1-10 against, top ranked opponents and everything. And they find another way to not execute. I think James Franklin is an excellent coach, but I do think at times he just overthinks things in those situations. And it's just like, stick with what you were doing. Stick what got you there. Don't. Penn State, until they do whatever, until they fix it. Anytime they have a big time matchup, when a playoff starts, I'm probably not even going to have Penn State favored. It depends on where they land in the playoffs. But because of these moments right here, when you're getting ready to meet someone and it's really, they could win, but they find a way to do something else. What we got? Oh, another person, Rudy Gobert. I'm gonna say this about Rudy Gobert. Everybody probably have seen or heard about Rudy Gobert getting posterized by Christian Brown of the Denver Nuggets, right? And of course, dunks are everything. Highlight dunks are everything. We get excited about those type of things. And what I didn't like about it, and I've seen him do this before, is with Rudy. He do these little subtle, like a elbow, a push, a grab, and you see him. Now Christian Braun, was celebrating, strength and and all that stuff or whatever. But like Rudy sticks his arm up around his neck and kind of like that stuff. That's why people be coming after you, bro, because those type of actions and everything. Now Rudy doesn't, warrant all of it, but when you do things like that, then people are like, you know what? I'm gonna go after this guy. It's not needed. That part is not needed. You could have put, just shoved a little bit or a little brotherly shove, for Christian to just like, back up, go over there, or don't do that, near me. But all that stuff up around the neck area and all that stuff, that's where you miss me, because it's just like, come on, man. That's not needed right there, because all it's going to do is what it did. It just almost inside of the scuffle and everything. Russell Westbrook is running from the half court line, like he finna do the high jump or the triple jump or something, that's not needed. You got dunked on, man. You're 3-4 time defensive player of the year. That comes with the territory. Ask Dikembe, RIP, but ask Dikembe Mutombo, right? When you are that guy, then people are just gonna keep coming at you because you have probably blocked more shots than you got dunked on. And it just comes with it. You got to deal with it, man. But all that extra stuff or whatever, it's not needed. It's not needed, man. Let that stuff go, right? Last, before I get you up out of here, I'm going to talk about Anthony Richardson, right? So Anthony Richardson watched the Indianapolis Colts go against the Minnesota Vikings from the sideline. Joe Flacco got the start. And in that start, regardless of what happened, with the game, Joe Flacco is apparently going to be, the starter for the next game, which isn't a surprise to me. And I think for Anthony Richardson, this is just really a learning process. This is a process. It's not over because, one, you're the 4th overall pick last year. There's no way the Indianapolis Colts is about to give up on you at this point or try and move you somewhere. We just saw, although Andy Dalton got hurt, Bryce Young has played 2 games. So they're going to bring you back. Joe Flacco is not going to be there the next 10 years anyway. But I do believe for them to bench him it definitely wasn't about the tap out. I think the tap out played a smidget or whatever, and I just think that might be, him understanding his role as the franchise quarterback. But I do think that the players and other people that was around is looking and just saying right now it's just not happening. And we have an opportunity because we were sitting at, it may still be, I haven't checked the rankings, but they were sitting at second behind the Houston Texans. Um, so they got an opportunity to make the playoffs. And if he's not getting it or he's not, performing well, um, then you got to go a different route. And that's what it is. And I think that's just where it boils down to is that if you're not getting the job done, number one overall pick, fourth pick, last pick, whatever, some moves, will have to be made. But they're temporary moves. So I hope he understands that because he's going to get another opportunity. He is super uber talented. It is some things that needs to be refined that they will work with. And I know he worked and he said the right things. The one thing he said the right things, at least, to the public, he said the right things. But that's what I want him to know is that you're going to get another opportunity. So when you get that opportunity, just make sure that you run with it. Learn from this. It's the ups and downs. And again, he hasn't even played a full season of games because he got hurt last year. So he's still trying to get to 17 games. So let's get a sample size of 17 games in there at some point. I do think he'll come back at this unless Joe Flacco just go off and just be throwing the rock all over the place. I do think Anthony Richardson is going to get another shot this year and then just improve from where it is. But you got to understand, like, hey, I'm not playing well, which I think he does. Yeah, I'm not playing well. And I have some things that you just can't happen being a franchise quarterback. So once when he does that, I think he'll be good. So tell me your thoughts, tell me your comments, whatever it is that you may have out there. Again, do not forget the Wait a Minute Show toy drive. Just go to the waitaminuteshow.com. You can make a donation. I'm telling you, everybody, it's a great cause. We help out kids. We sponsor kids 1 through 18, man. We get them what they want for the holiday season. And I only can do that with your help. So make sure you go into the website. You got until December 14th to do that. But until then, I'm going to holler at y'all later, man. We'll be back talking about more sports and everything else. So for your man, Jelani J.B. Bodie, I got 2 things for you. Stay positive and push forward. And I'll holler at y'all later. Peace.